On Larry King Now, the one and only Debbie Allen.
The dance world has informed my entire artistic being.
As a director, does being a dancer and a choreographer help you in the way people move?
Oh, yeah. The first time I directed Scandal and I laid out the scene, Kerry Washington immediately said, choreography, choreography, choreography. Aging is something that we as women are the ones, we're happy that we're getting a little more empowered because we like seeing women that are older on screen. We're not trying to have everybody be a 20-year-old with a tight butt.
Let's talk a little about Bill Cosby.
It's just heartbreaking to see someone who really changed the world's view of African-American people.
What does Felicia feel?
I don't know what Felicia feels because Felicia doesn't talk about this. It's a painful chapter for all of us.
Plus,
When I saw President Barack Obama backstage and he walked in with those sunglasses on and he walked past me and I said, Mr. President, he came back and he went, Debbie Allen. I thought I was gonna die.
all next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now, and our guest today is Debbie Allen, a quintuple threat. Award-winning actor, dancer, choreographer, director, and producer. Debbie has starred in indelible series like Fame, directed seminal shows like A Different World, and founded the Debbie Allen Dance Academy here in Los Angeles. Debbie stars in and at turns directs the ABC hit Grey's Anatomy. The 14th season of the long-running drama airs Thursdays at 8 p.m. on ABC. Why has it lasted this long?
I think because it's rooted in truth. The characters are so real. The stories are things that really have happened or could happen. Ellen Pompeo, Jim Pickens, Shonda Wilson, Justin Chambers, they're the core four left from the beginning. And I think Shonda Rhimes' brilliance is that she is a storyteller and telling stories that really test the time. You know, the stories don't get old. So we got a new audience, Larry. We have like 13, 14, and 15-year-olds that are binge watching it on Netflix. And
What is her talent, Shonda?
Shonda's talent is storytelling. She is brilliant at knowing what makes sense dramatically. She's also brilliant in the editing room. She goes in the room and she rearranges sometimes the way we tell the story. She changes things. And she's also brilliant at finding other talent. She's brought in a real great team of writers headed by Krista Vernoff now, who used to be with us when the show first started.
Is she tough to work for?
I don't think so. She is just looking
Director,
for...
you answer to her, right?
I answer to her, but this is what she likes. She likes that I also have strong ideas, and then I will take challenges and I'll take risks. She likes that.
How far have women come in Hollywood?
So far, Larry, when I started on Fame, I was by myself. The only woman on the set was the script supervisor and my makeup woman and my costume designer. And I did 10 years on the Academy Awards where I was in the room most of the time, the only woman in the room. We've come a long way. And it's really exciting to know. As executive producing director of Grey's Anatomy, I actually hired the directors. That's part of my responsibility.
Oh, you do more than just direct?
Oh, yes, I am executive producing, and so I'm overseeing that. And I have brought more women into network directing than any other show. And
how about the color of your skin? Has that changed a lot?
Well, my color is still the same.
No, I don't mean... It's a good question.
I'm sorry. You set yourself up with that one.
Has it changed toward
the diversity is what you're
African-American?
saying.
Yeah,
it's diversity, period. When I'm looking for directors, and I am looking to give women opportunity, I'm looking for women that are Native American, that are Latino women, Asian women, white women. There are more black women working now, I will say, than certainly when I started, like 10 times more.
How about aging?
Aging is something that we as women are the ones, we're happy that we're getting a little more empowered because we like seeing women that are older on screen. We're not trying to have everybody be a 20-year-old with a tight butt.
Is it still a man's game?
It is still somewhat of a man's game, I would say yes. It
You
still
play a
is.
doctor on Grey's Anatomy.
I do. I'm a urologist. My first episode,
Urologist.
I did a penis transplant in my very first episode. You know, my husband loved that one. That
This
was
is getting
good.
crude. There is such a thing?
There is such a thing.
Is everything on Grey's Anatomy factual?
It is. Even the technology, we use the cutting edge technology. A woman on our show, Linda Klein, I call her Sunbeam, she is our medical expert, and she brings us ideas of new technology. And
When you're an executive producer and you're an actress,
yes.
when you direct, what's that like? I mean, you're directing a cast that's been there a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make it easier, harder?
Well, maybe for me, it might make it easier because I know them. I wasn't there from the beginning.
I know.
I started directing like season 6, but I know them very well, and I've been here for the transformation. Like the tone of the show has really changed this season, gone back to a tone much like the beginning. And
What is season 14 like?
that's what it's like. It's just got a
What do you
levity.
mean by tone?
The tone, I mean, on Grey's Anatomy, a lot of people have died. A lot of people have died. And it's not that life and death is not a factor in the medical world. It's just with our principal characters, we're trying to find ways for them to express themselves with levity. There's just a sense of a romantic comedy going on somewhere in the roots of the show now that wasn't quite there last year.
Why did Shonda do that?
I think Shonda was trying to give us another breath. At season 14, you can't just keep doing it the same way over and over. Even if it's working, you want to refresh it. And when you go back to the beginning of Grey's Anatomy, and we're not trying to take the characters back to the beginning, because certainly Ellen Pompeo, Jim Pickett, everybody's 14 years older, so they're more adult, they're more grown. But they may say things that will give us a little bit of joy and laughter that we didn't quite have
The
last year.
cast doesn't get tired, huh?
The cast loves it. They are so ready to go. I mean, can you imagine season 14 and it feels like it's a brand new show?
Our
That's
guest
amazing.
is the one, the only Debbie Allen. We're talking dancing, directing, and Hurricane Harvey, too, after the break. Back with Debbie Allen. Grey's Anatomy is in its 14th season on ABC. Are you a dancer who directs and acts? Are you first a dancer?
I have to confess and say yes, I am. The dance world has informed my entire artistic being.
Were you ballet at the beginning?
I wanted to be a ballerina. There were no black ballerinas when I was
No.
coming up, though, and I tried, but they were like, mm-mm. But then I saw Alvin Ailey, and I said, child, get rid of those point shoes, honey. Give me some heels and a tight blue dress and play the blues. And I was very happy and comfortable.
Now, your
in my
mom
skin.
was a serious poet, right?
My mother is a poet. My mom is still writing. Yes, and
Did she encourage you to dance?
oh, she did. She orchestrated it when things looked like it wasn't going to work out. Like when I auditioned for a school that didn't take me, or there were no black students at the Houston Ballet Foundation at the time. She packed us up and we moved to Mexico City. And there I was able to train and go to the Bellas Artes and the Ballet Nacional.
What makes an accept? What did Fred Astaire have that others didn't have?
Fred Astaire was the truth when we say that in dance, from head to toe. When you shot a dance number with Fred Astaire, you didn't have to do this shot, that shot. You could do head to toe, and you got it all, because he was really doing what he did. He was such a perfectionist. He inspired Michael Jackson, not just with what he did, but his work ethic. He would practice and practice and
So
practice.
it was more than just the feet.
It was more than the feet. It was the soul. He is the real soul of dance, just bursting out.
Why did you start the Debbie Allen Dance Academy?
I did because I was one of those kids, Larry, who was, 12 years old looking for an opportunity and couldn't get one. At the time in Texas, it was because I was black, and now it's because there's no money for the arts. I mean, look at what's happening in Washington. I mean, what's happening? The arts is a way, the artists are the truth keepers in our world. And it uplifts people and gives young people confidence and a sense of pride
As a director, does being a dancer and a choreographer help you in the way people move?
Oh, yeah. The first time I directed Scandal and I laid out the scene, I give what I call broad strokes. Kerry Washington immediately said, choreography, 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 because it's about the movement, motion pictures. Where are they going? Why are they moving? What is it about? And dance informed that for me. On Fame, I became a director on Fame because I could shoot all the dance numbers, and then I was good with the dramatic narrative. But movement is a part of my being, and so what an actor, how an actor moves or does not move defines a lot of my cinematic vision.
I guess. You recently did an episode of Insecure.
Oh.
Issa Rae was here recently.
Oh, I adore her. I did her first season. She's wonderful. What a fresh show.
Did she reach out to you?
Yeah, she did. We actually had shot a cover of Essence magazine together of these, it was me, her, Shonda Rhimes, Ava DuVernay, who else was it? Oh, Mara Brock Akil.
What makes Issa unique?
She just has a fresh voice. She's not a cookie cutter. We have not seen anybody like her. And also she's coming to us from a world where she doesn't have to censor herself. Being on HBO helps her be unique because she can say whatever she wants to say. You know, when you're in network television, there are words we can't say, there are things you can't show. In HBO, you can do everything.
Is it true you want to direct an opera?
I do, Larry. It's the one thing that...
It's the one thing you haven't done?
It's the one thing I haven't done that I'm interested in doing.
So you have enough clout now, couldn't you?
I could. I just have to figure out the time. I really, really would love...
Is there a famous opera you'd like to direct?
Yes, there's two. I love Carmen and I love Faust. Faust, I think, in particular, I would like to. Because I'd like to explore what it means, the devil, what it means to sell your soul, because we see so much of that right now across the boards every day. I might put it all in the world of Washington. I might put it in politics. I would change the clothes. I would give it another look. Don't steal it. I know somebody's listening. Don't do my idea.
Are you disappointed in what you see in Washington?
I'm disenchanted with it right now, and I'm such an optimist. And
You know the president?
I do. We
did.
actually judged Miss America together many years ago, and he was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He was a lot of fun. And I don't know what has happened that he's not opening his heart to everyone. It seems like maybe since the hurricanes and all this, things are changing. He's reached out to the Democrats. There's some changes. I don't think our country survives without us all talking to one another and with us and not all being on the page.
You're from Houston, right?
I am from Houston.
Do you know anybody who was affected?
Yeah, all my cousins and a lot of my friends that lived there were underwater. That river, that highway that turned into a river was right next to our house. And it's just frightening. And then I have family in Louisiana. I mean, earlier this year, we had alligators walking down the street from that rain, you know, in Baton Rouge. It was pretty bad. So
Debbie Allen.
we're dealing with global warming here. I think we're dealing with something that we have. The climate change is really serious.
Well, only 98% of scientists agree. What the hell?
Okay, what do they know?
What do they know? Coming up, we're talking fan encounters and guilty pleasures with the one and only Debbie Allen. Plus a word about Bill Cosby. Stay with us. We're back with Debbie Allen. What is this hot shot? What is it?
The Hot Chocolate Nutcracker. This is my reimagining of the holiday classic, The Nutcracker, with new music, different lands. The rats take over the story. This was inspired by my son Thump, who when I took him to the Nutcracker, well, he's grown now, but that was his name. And I took him to the Nutcracker and he says, "Mom, when is the rat coming?" And so years and years later, I redid the Hot Chocolate Nutcracker with music by Arturo Sandoval, James Ingram, Ricky Minor.
When's it going to open?
We played the Dorothy Chandler last year, and this year we're going to open at the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center on December the 7th. And I play one of the rats. I play Bucky. one of the young.
Did you direct it too?
I did. I wrote it and I directed it, and it's wonderful.
How do you do all you do?
I don't know. I don't sleep very much. I don't sleep very much.
I know. Let's talk a little about Bill Cosby. You have a long relationship with him.
Yeah.
Your sister worked with him for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Felicia was his wife.
Yeah.
What do you make of the tragedy that is Bill Cosby?
Oh, it's heartbreaking. I have to say, it's just heartbreaking for to see someone who really changed the world's view of African American people around the world, and that's something that is so important to now be weighted with this at this point in his life. And it's tragic, however you look at it. Whether he's found guilty, innocent,
Do you
that you're
regard it
even
as some
going
sort of-
through it. It's just
You regard it as some sort of sickness?
if that's what really happened, I feel it's a sickness maybe, but it's also a sign of the times.
What does Felicia feel?
I don't know what Felicia feels because Felicia doesn't talk about this.
Really?
She doesn't know because her experience is her experience. She's never had any bad experience with Bill. I've never had a bad experience with him. I've worked with him on his show on Different World. He was always encouraging us as women to move. He's raised his daughters. So it's a painful chapter for all of us.
All right, Debbie, let's have a little fun.
Okay.
We play a game of If You Only Knew. I just throw some things at you.
Okay.
Who was your childhood celebrity crush?
It was I would have to say it was Norman Nixon. No, I wasn't a child. When I was a child, I was in love with my uncle, who was a painter.
Norm Nixon was a good player.
Yeah.
Secret talent. You're so talented, what could be secret?
I don't know what's a secret anymore. I've done everything pretty much.
Person you'd trade places with for a day.
Khaleesi in Game of Thrones.
Guilty pleasure.
Ice cream.
Last time you were starstruck.
When I saw President Barack Obama backstage at the Kennedy Center, and he walked in with those sunglasses on with all those CIA agents, and he walked past me, and I said, "Mr. President," and he came back and he went, "Debbie Allen." I thought I was going to die. He said my name, I thought I was going to die.
Was that the best compliment you ever got?
It was one of the best, yeah.
Is there someone you're dying to work with?
There's someone that I would like to work with that I have worked with, and that's my sister, Felicia Rashad. I think she's one of the finest actors
You'd like
on
to
the
work with her
planet.
again?
Yeah, we did a movie called, we did a movie for PBS that was so well received, and we haven't done anything together since.
What's the weirdest job you've ever had?
Oh, the weirdest job. I don't know. The weirdest job might have been, no, but it wasn't weird. I was a lifeguard one summer.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I bet you danced out to save people.
I spent a lot of time running from the guys.
Something you wish you were better at?
I wish I was better at taking a little more time for myself.
Strangest fan encounter?
Well, I had a woman once that saw me at the gas station, and she said, "Debbie," she said, "Oh," no, she didn't call my name. She said, "Oh, it's good to see you again." I said, "Oh, thank you." She said, "Yeah, we were in jail together." I'm like, "Huh?" I thought she knew me as Debbie Allen. She said, "You know, we were locked up together last week." I said, "Girl, what you talking about?" She really thought we were in jail together. I thought it was funny.
I think
It's
that's
my
funny.
misconception of a fan encounter.
What's a luxury you can't live without?
I can't live without time with my family, with my kids.
Is there something you long believed to be true and then realized wasn't?
Oh, something I believe that was true that isn't.
That's hard because I don't know how I would answer it.
Well, things are starting to crumble that seem that they're not true anymore. and that's a little scary.
Yeah, everything's changing.
Everything is changing. I thought the government would always stand up for young people in education in the arts, and I'm not sure about that right now.
Debbie will answer your many social media questions in our final segment. Grey's Anatomy airs Thursdays at 8 p.m. on ABC. We'll be right back. We're back with the great Debbie Allen. We have some social media questions. Chef Corky, how has the world of dance changed since you first learned to dance?
Well, the world of dance has become very wide in its vocabulary. The street dance of hip-hop and all of the mixture has really broadened the language of dance.
Pompeo Method, what can we expect for episode 300 coming up this season on Grey's Anatomy?
Ooh, 300. I'm just finishing directing it right now.
You're directing it?
I am, and I can just say that it
Give me a hint.
It's a fast look into the past and moving forward at the same time. That's all I can tell you. It's amazing. It's
Roland Jordan, what is one piece of advice you wish you'd been given while directing A Different World? What advice would you have given yourself?
I would love to have been given the advice to just speak even louder and stand even taller. I thought I did a pretty good job, but I think I could have been even more.
The change U12C, if you were to teach a master class tomorrow to Paula Abdul, Janet Jackson, J-Lo, and Beyonce, who do you think would be the best dancer?
Ooh, child, come on now. You know that's not fair. That is a tough... Okay, look, they're different. I mean, Janet is really sharp. Paula is very technical. J-Lo is sultry. There's no more dynamic than Beyonce. I don't know. I would just have to say I'm going to win. How about
We
that?
can make it a quartet. Weekend Girl 81, will you ever do a remake of Fame?
Oh, I would love to remake Fame, Larry. I would love to.
I know that high school.
I would love to. If they just let me have it. I've asked. We'll see what happens.
Japil Kaladza, what is your favorite thing about dancing and directing?
Dancing gives me a sense of freedom that nothing else does. Directing gives me a challenge to my creativity and also the challenge of galvanizing such a big crew of people, being the leader, being a real leader, leadership there.
Ree Anders, who do you wish you could choreograph a dance number for that you haven't?
I would actually like to choreograph Beyonce. I've not choreographed her. I would like to.
Unpoligno, did you ever get to dance with Gregory Hines?
I did. Gregory Hines and
I loved him.
We did the Oscars together one year, and it was so amazing. I loved him so much.
Died
Miss
much
him.
too early.
Much too early.
Did he have cancer?
He had him, and it was something we didn't know anything about. We did our tap festival. We still have the LA Tap Festival that was grounded on...
He was the best.
Yeah, on his...
Dawn Be Dawn 73, when you're faced with obstacles, what's your approach?
Meet them head on. Don't back down. Do your research. Just stand strong and try to find out as much as you can about what you're up against. And just go.
What has surprised you the most about your amazing career?
I think that I have just maintained this kind of quality of youth. I mean, I have been in this business 6 decades, and I still feel very alive and very excited about what I do. And that's something that you kind of hope for, but you don't know it's going to really be like that.
Have your goals changed over the years?
Yeah, they have a bit. I mean, there was a time when I just wanted to do movies, and they weren't letting any women direct any movies. And I knew I could do an action feature better than any man, and I'd done movies for television, but it just wasn't happening, and I just got upset about it. And then I kind of relaxed after I produced Amistad, and I just kept going with you got to go with what's in your hand. And now I'm just so proud of the women who are going forward. Gina Prince Bythewood is directing the next Spider-Man, Ava DuVernay just did a big movie for Disney. I mean, it's happening.
Do you want to do a Marvel Comics?
I don't really have that ambition right now. I'm happy that it's happening, though.
You're the best, Debbie.
Yes.
I want to thank my guest, the inimitable Debbie Allen. 14th season of Grey's Anatomy airs Thursdays at 8 p.m. on ABC. You can always find me on Twitter at King's Things. I'll see you next time.